On the agenda is the application. Please remain standing for the pledge of allegiance. Forest, we come to you with the name of Jesus, pray you bring your mighty hand of protection and peace upon the land of Israel. Your word tells us that no weapon that is formed against you shall prosper. So we cling to your good truths. Reveal ways in which we can provide support to your people and our parents and burdens. We ask this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Flag of the United States of America. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilmember Atkins.
Present.
Councilmember McMahon.
Present.
Councilmember Joy.
Present.
Councilmember Perkins.
Present.
Councilmember Sands.
Present.
Vice Mayor Locke.
Present.
Mayor Arreola.
Presentations.
Hello. The green 2094 West Main Street, in Ohio. I got a couple of questions. I've been watching the minutes on the council, and it's a different council than when I was on council. I asked Ron, you said that we're a legislative body, we make amendments, we make ordinances and all that stuff. I was told our main purpose was nothing. You guys work for me.
Well, they changed that.
You guys work for everybody here. My village, my pond, my dirt patcher. It's all mine.
Amen.
I voted for all of you people at one time or another. I'm not telling you who I'm gonna vote for this time. I have no idea. I haven't even made up my mind yet. But it's not the same council. I see rudeness. I see no eye contact, which irritates me to no end. I was told by, at that man time was Larry and Ron, to be quiet and pay attention when somebody's up here speaking. You had to tell me and Gail a couple of times, be quiet, pay attention, somebody's talking. We were told to go to that person's house to see what was wrong. Come back here and get to George and say, this is what's going on, and it's not a big deal, but it's a big deal to them. And within weeks was fixed. Budget money could be different because of the whole corona. What is it my dirt patcher being used? Out of curiosity. My dirt patcher.
Okay.
You don't know why it's not being used. You should know why it's not being used. Because it should be used instead of them putting hot packets out. Use my dirt patcher. Band-aid fix, but it's fixed for 3 to 5 years. It's a basic activity. Used it a lot. And it's a waste of energy. Why are we getting, riot helmets? In Lebanon, where are the rate of riots
I don't want to.
in the budget? Oh, okay, good, yeah, because that's the part I didn't honey, so I was listening, okay, yeah, because I was out in.
We're not done with the budget yet, so.
Okay, okay, that one's there. Oh. The last time I was on council was in 2017. And that's when we were talking about medical marijuana cards. Which is. And I do use my gummies every night. Yes, I do must test positive for marijuana. We had a discussion about opening a shop, a dispensary, a pharmacy for marijuana. You agreed with me? Yeah. I can't remember who else was out there that agreed with me. Several people agreed with me. If they're gonna sell it in a store. I don't make money. You're selling beer and alcohol in a store. You're selling cigarettes in the store. It's just a bad problem with the school as it was now, as it was in the 70s. When I was at school. Only we knew how to hide it better. You want someplace for the kids to go? Tell them to go play with the next door neighbor, play with kids, play with their kids, play with friends. Ride your bike around the block. You don't have to have a swimming pool or anything like that. When we're so close to Farmersville, that's the only pool I knew when I was growing up. And the problem is trying to get new businesses in here. I see you guys all, let's get a good restaurant, let's get good this, let's get this and get this. We're too small. We're trying to get tractor, what was that tractor business thing over here? Where Alco's was. George went and talked to the guy. I talked to the guy. George went and talked to the guy. Came out here and looked at it, says, it's perfect. It's big, it's got a loading dock. It's got someplace in the back. Perfect. Not close to a highway though, and you don't have the traffic. George explained to him, you're gonna be pulling in all around the farms, all around. This is an ideal position. Not close to a highway, not enough traffic. And that is what every big business has said to us when we ask them to come here. How we talked Casey's into coming here, I have no idea. Because they probably would have said no, not enough traffic. We're not big enough. We're not big enough for Texas Roadhouse. Sorry, we're not. We've got nice little restaurants that we could go to. Got enough bars to go to. The school, wait a minute. Maybe parents should stand up a little bit with the kids at school. Rather than relying on the council or the school board. I don't know, I don't understand why we had to rush through on renewing your contracts. I thought contracts were renewed after 30 days. Or on that 30-day mark, not before. Maybe I'm mistaken, I don't have all my minutes. They're on screen storage. Why the rush on it? I mean, are we looking at an apocalypse? Because I don't know. Just curious as to what the reason is. Why? And nobody's answering me, so I guess nobody knows.
You're giving
Yeah.
a presentation.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
listen.
oh, okay. Well, I think that's about all I got to say, because I left my stuff to drink over there at the table. Let me check my notes here. Third Patrick, why not use big thing? Find out why. I argued with Larry Shaw, with Wayne, and I think with you too, Ray, about the Durapatcher.
Oh, it's usually.
I would say anybody who's Larry, I know. Larry's not gonna do that. Best thing we ever got.
Yeah.
Thank you. And that's why I refer to it as mine. So council is the people, not waiting for our problems. What are these people's houses? When somebody comes up here and says, I've got a hole in front of my house. Drive over to their house and look at that hole. Let them see you look at that hole. They will love you.
They don't.
I still have people emailing me. Linda, the road in front of my house is terrible. Can you come over and look at it? No. I can't drive. And I'm not on council. Really? Well, how do I get somebody over here? Go to a council meeting. Not how it works anymore. It's a different, and I don't like it, it scares me. This is my village. You all work for me. And you all work for everybody here, because our votes put you in office. And you need to remember that. And I got a big down talk in the second or third year. Walking in here like my crap didn't stink, thought I could do anything. So Larry put me in my place real fast. And I think some of you guys need to put me right. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Motion for him.
Everyone say that I haven't mentioned all this line. So just so I'm clear, I actually do have a couple of questions before I get started, so I am asking questions. Just present.
That's what you're there for. It's part of your show. Presentation.
Right, but I would ask you questions that you answered in order to go forth with the presentation. So, anyway, moving forward. Let's see. How do people, just regular ordinary citizens, get an ordinance proposed by this board? Is there a way for me to do that? Do I need to write up an ordinance? Can I do that and submit it to say one of the council members, have them bring it up? How do I go about that process?
That would be it.
Is that it, Gail? You're the only one that seems to want to answer the question, even though I'm directing it at Mayor Area. Look, I appreciate the answer. Okay, so I will try to draft an ordinance up. The reason that I even mentioned it is the smoke shop that opened up. I understand the concerns that were brought by a parent that was here on the October 3rd meeting about it just being brought in, and you guys stating it didn't have to be voted on in council because of the fact that it's not a zoning issue. Now, I understand that. I know what the legality is. It is completely legal. Everything is good. However, I do believe that New Lebanon needs an ordinance in place that states certain types of businesses like strip clubs, bars, you know, potential places where you could go buy THC. And a vote at the city council or a voice from the people of your village saying if they wanted that in their town or not. I don't want my kid's school to be next to a smoke shop. I don't want my kid's school to be next to a strip club. We are only a 2-mile stretch of land, so everywhere is next door to the smoke shop. Anyway, I'll move on from that. I'm sorry. It's really disappointing that something like that would just be opened up in our town. Any knowledge to the public. Council members, it was brought to my attention that you guys have to be here 75% of the time. Since I asked for a roll call and was not given that, I went and did the research myself, and it looks like Mr. Ariola has missed 6 meetings this year. So you're just pushing it to the limit, as far as you possibly can. You cannot miss another one, or you're not mayor. By our own charter, that's crazy. That's all right. You guys vote how you want it, but you know what your guys is. some weird stuff, man. The head of the service department, how often does he have to be here a year? The head of the service department, how often does he have to be in a council meeting per year?
Once a quarter.
He has never been here. This year, he has not been in a single council meeting. By your own charter, he means dismissed. I am calling for one of you to take the appropriate action in dismissing someone that does not attend the meetings that they are required by your charter to attend.
Which one was you talking about? Repeat.
The head of the service department,
That is Scott, right?
Yes.
Scott has been here. He has been,
he has not attended one per quarter.
not one full.
Oh, but that is his requirement.
But he has been to,
But that is the requirement for your charter is one per quarter. Does not do that, it does not oblige that. So I would like to see some action moving forward with his, I guess, recommendation. Right, because there is penalties for not doing the stuff, right? Your ordinance is
how many has Scott been here
this year.
this year? I know the one.
I think he's been each quarter.
No, it is not.
He used to be, he was at 2 in 1 quarter, I think, and then. But
No,
I would have to pull it.
this, Ms. Hartel has come up here and pointed out the fact that Scott has not been to these meetings several times this year. That is on public record. I can bring it up for you if you'd like me to here, which I'll do it another day. Anyway, I did not get my Freedom of Information Act request, and I was actually kind of wondering why it was denied. I got a letter from Mrs. Madden that explains it kind of, but it says that my request is too vague. That's just the summary of the letter. How long do you keep the records on past mayors? I do not know how more clear I could.
I need to know what records.
Your record retention,
You want a copy of the record retention policy?
I asked you
You want a
what
copy
your
of-
record retention is on a mayor.
Do you want the record retention information about mayors? See,
No,
that's why that's vague.
no, it's not vague. You're trying to play it as vague. How long do you keep the records of your mayors? That is a very simple question. If I ask ITT, how long do you keep records of your professors? They will come to me and say, I keep that for 5 years.
We're
Only
gonna
because I'm
also
that-
ask you which records. Are you talking about employment records? Are you talking about what kind of records? Attendance records?
Any
meetings?
records, any and all records,
cannot-
very clear.
You have to be very specific. That is the sunshine law. I
I
can't.
understand how intelligent you are and how you play words off of people. You do it in front of this council, meeting after meeting after meeting. It does not excuse that this says, how long do you keep mayoral records? And you just said that's too vague. Let the people decide that's a vague question. I don't believe it is. How long are my records kept at Clark? 7 years. That's a simple answer to a simple, very simple question. Clark keeps my records all of them for 7 years. Why? Because they were probably on my lawn. That's it.
You're talking about your personnel records or your payroll records. Which records are you referring to?
You could just keep dancing around the question over and over.
I'm just asking for
I'm
clarity.
reading on. I don't need that information. The point is, the point, it's a simple question that you can't answer, just like you will sit and stare at anybody that comes up and asks you a question to your face that you don't want to answer. It's the craziest thing in the world. And on April 4th in a council meeting, Chris Sands, why did you abstain from voting on appointing that council board? The board,
The charter review,
yes,
because I was going to be on it.
right, that would be a what?
What?
It would be a what? A conflict of interest, yes?
Not according to our charter as it stands right now.
As long as you abstained and did not vote, then it was not, correct? Right, and that's why you did abstain, is because you knew that that's the only way that it would not be an ethics violation, correct?
No.
That's absolutely true. So, let's move forward to this. This is a fun fact which I passed out to the members of council. Not you guys. When I say council, I'm talking about them. Because again, the village runs this place. I don't know where you guys got your ideas from. Anyway, this is from the Ohio Ethics Commission. I encourage everybody to use the highlighted numbers at the top. If they see anybody in this room participating in ethics violations, if you read in this document, I think you'll find something very interesting. Like this. Staying from the recusal should include anything refraining, voting, discussing it, reviewing it, recommending it, inspecting it, investigating it, or taking any other action on it. So by sheer participation in the board, you were in an ethics violation. You knew that you were, and you still moved forward with it. Now, moving backwards. On the sixth, and Tom Bartlett came in here, June the sixth, and she had a conversation with Mr. Pinson. That conversation was on the drone policy that you released. Michael came in and said that this was basically just a copy and paste from some other organization, and he needed to come up with a protocol from his duty. Let's see, what was it called? I don't want to misplace anything you said or said. Let's see. They were being fulfilled by your lieutenant, is that correct? Your personal training department protocols for a new letter.
Okay,
There's a program coordinator, correct?
I have a program coordinator for the drone, yes.
Yes, and on that date, on June sixth, you said that it would be completed. It went on saying that you did not know how to do the tape, it was a process, you would get it out to the public, yes?
It will be completed, and yes, it will be available to the public, it's a public record.
So it is not to this date completed.
It is not,
That was on June sixth.
I understand.
Okay. Yes. So there is no personal policy here for the public to see.
Personal policy,
Yes, so personal rights in violation may be potentially of drug use by police,
there is currently a policy in place.
and you have that for public view.
Yes,
Where is that at?
well, I think your wife has a copy of it, I know that
It is publicly posted. Where is that posted public?
it's not publicly posted, it's publicly available to the public record.
It needs to be, but you need to read that FAA
And yet,
guideline.
what you would like for me to post my entire manual and
No, I need you to post your policy.
I understand, thank you.
Very good. So 5 years ago, 2019, we found out that the court was moving. When did we get the $650,000 allocated to set aside for what we were gonna do with that building? When did that come from? Is there about $650,000 set aside for what we're going to do with the court?
No, it was about 500 set aside, and we were putting another 150 in the budget, or looking to put another 150 in the budget.
When did that,
You mean, when did that
when
occur?
did the 500 and some thousand end up allocated?
Over time,
That was when, wasn't it, quick?
yeah, it's been rent money over time.
Just curious, I'm trying to find out these things. Let's see. So, I was notified that some of these signs that are up around town, the people that are living there, the residents are getting removal letters from the city, not to mention permit orders, which I guess I can understand the permit order. But, when contacting the city office and asked, why would I have to remove my political sign prior to the election? They are told that you have had it up for 30 days. I would like to point out that the Ohio Revised Code has a section both on temporary signs and on political signs. And they are not considered the same thing. And political signs are covered under 1179.11. They are allowed to stay up for 60 days and up to 2 weeks after the election. To have them removed as they have been removed is a violation of guess what? Ethics and election board. You guys are actually actively engaging in election fraud right now. It's clear To anybody that looks at this, if you were asked to remove your political sign from your yard prior to an election, that is election interference. It is being run by the city who is trying to get the mayor reelected. It's kind of crazy.
You got copies of them letters.
I'm sorry.
And you got any copies?
Yeah, I've got copies of the letters in there.
Just your comment.
Absolutely.
According to Frank rules, which I got in my package when I picked up the package from Board of Elections. Permits in place. Some municipalities or community associations have local ordinances or charter provisions that restrict the posting of political publications. Questions about local ordinances or charter provisions should be directed to your county prosecutor or city attorney, which we have an ordinance here. And
Your ordinance violates Ohio state. No, absolutely not. It's written in the Ohio Revised Code. I will mention it out to you again, and I encourage anybody here in the audience to look it up. It is Ohio Revised Code 1179.08 and 1179.11. Check into them. They're completely different things. If you're in violation of the Ohio State Revised Code, you are not allowed to make things, in your opinion, against what the Ohio Revised Code says. See, we can challenge that to the state. You guys are like most corrupt house fires, it's crazy. I thought corruption only happened in like big cities. Stuff like that, it's crazy, it's worse than a little town. You know, I'm not gonna leave you out. So, if you guys know what section 802 is, 8.02. You know what you're,
top of my head,
I'll read it to you, it's called personal interest. Are you guys familiar with that? Let me ask this.
presentations, so
Points. Assistance. Do they get, yeah. Or do they get appointed, or do they just get recommended?
What's your question? Are people hired?
Your assistant, your personal assistant, are they
People are hired, yes,
through what system?
whatever hiring tracks
Did
you
you
use.
put out a accomplice?
For an assistant?
Yeah.
No, we hired internally,
From you.
Mhm. internally,
From where?
someone who already worked here.
And it happened to be Gail's daughter?
Yes,
That's a conflict of interest.
no, she doesn't work for
Absolutely.
Neil. She
Your
works for me.
daughter, he votes on your contract. Right? The third is your assistant, like weeks before the vote on your contract, and we're not supposed to look here. Section 8.02, it literally states, a person who knowingly violates this section may be guilty of having unlawful interest in a public contract, right? So no member of council or any officer or employee of the municipality shall have any financial interest, direct or indirect, any contact with any sale of municipalities, materials, I know, Peter, you got your head down, good stuff, man. Supplies or services, no lands, interest in land, anyway, we'll go forward, I'm skipping forward again. A person knowingly violated law, blah, blah, we'll go forward. Any contract or agreement made in violation of this section shall be void. Now, it is also the municipal manager's job to report ethics violations. 3 times I've heard people report ethics violations or concerns to you. Have you reported those to the Board of Ethics? When the council, okay. So the Charter Review Board came to you and said, hey, 3 members on it said, I don't think he should be on it. I don't think they should be on it. And I don't think they should be on it. It's ethical violation. Did you report any of that to the ethics board?
I talked to our attorney about that and
And did he report it to the ethics board? By Ohio State Revised Code, you are required by law, even if you do not believe it should happen, to report that to the board so that they can look into it, not you. Why? Because internally you can be corrupt, but you are. You are showing it every day in every aspect of everything you do. That's That's why you made it seem as if Glenda's contract was just up for negotiation. No, it wasn't. It was signed that day. That's not correct. Even with Nicole Atkins asking for it to be tabled, it still got voted on that night, correct? Yes.
So I just wanted to state for the record here. I personally have expressed my desire for my daughter to actually work elsewhere. So
I would
if you
too,
can,
because it's a conflict of
and
interest.
you can ask her, she likes working here. And I would think that the employees would like having a university, someone that holds a bachelor's degree working here. On the pay scale that she's actually working, because I know for a fact, I can get her a job elsewhere, making a lot more money.
Gail, are you defending the fact that she would want to work at a place where she could get a superior advantage because of the background that you guys have together and the personal interest conflict that is going on right here on city council in display? See, this is not stuff I'm making up. You guys,
Say that again.
why wouldn't she stay to advance herself when you and her relationship could definitely advance her?
How would it advance her? I have no,
I don't know, she could end up as a mayor.
she'd be a mayor making $100 an hour or $100 a month.
It's not a argument about whether you like to work. What the argument is, at this violation is, it clearly states whether it is direct or indirect, and you knowingly do this in front of your city and then defend it. It is abhorrent. I'm appalled, you know. Sharon Bennett told me that you were a great guy. These are her words to me. I told her about that immediately as soon as I saw it. She's like, if you need anybody else in this world, she's going to be a good man. I told her, watch, show you who he is, and here you are. Here you are. You are my words, Jack. I see in your eyes. And Nicole wanted to table that. What's the city do to get a recall on that resolution? You know, the city is says it's opposed to it, right? How do you recall? Anybody? I got one, so,
It would have to get readdressed.
how does it readjust again?
Someone would have to put the motion forward for the negotiation to be, or the contract to be negotiated.
Who's gonna bring the motion forward?
And then they have to second it, right?
Am I allowed to bring a motion forward? No, it's not, it can be recalled. Recall that. You trying to tell people you cannot recall a resolution, Ray, is that what you just said online?
No, it's not a resolution.
It's a resolution, it's on the ballot. It's resolution 2023. It's all for the figures of the class. You cannot recall a resolution. Okay. Answer it all.
You look up that resolution and bring back what you found out?
It's resolution 2023
I can't hear you.
15.
2023 15 is the resolution that just got signed October 3rd on her contract, 3 months early. Well, one that everybody is upset about, that obviously they won't recall for a good reason. That's the resolution, sir. So I don't know why you're mayor would tell me it's not a resolution, but posted outside here as a resolution.
Municipality of New London,
Whereas October 2023 is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And now therefore, I, Tammy Locke, by virtue of the authority vested in me as a council member and on behalf of the entire municipal council, do hereby proclaim this month of October 23rd as National Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the municipality of New Lebanon.
Minutes, I told you. It's my read, my reading minutes, any corrections or changes in the meeting, you read these minutes. All in favor of the minutes, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign.
Yes, I do have a few comments. Stability. I think it's been brought up that over the past, the stability in this chamber has not been good. I'm not blaming anybody in particular, but there are a lot of things to blame. This council was elected by the citizens of New Lebanon, was elected in order to manage and take care of the business of the village. It was elected as a legislative body. It was elected as the people who hire the administrator and thus administrate what goes on in the village. This council has the ability, and I'll address it, as it was mentioned last, has the ability to hire a village administrator. They have the ability to sign a contract if they vote upon it to do so, which they have. They have the ability to do that at any time that they wish. They can change a contract, they can amend it, they can modify it, they can do a lot of things. It's the same thing in any business. Unions to renegotiate contracts. Professional ball players negotiate new contracts at any time. You have a ball player that they want to make sure is around for a long time because he's a star. They negotiate a new contract. There's lots of reasons for that. The council has done that. The council performed their job, taking into consideration all of the items that are set forth in the charter of this municipality. Individual people, individual residents in this village do not have the right to micromanage a contract before it's signed. That's a contract is up to you, this council. And that's what they did. They took into consideration everything they needed to take into consideration, and they moved forward on it as they felt appropriate. You may have thoughts that are different from what is in the council. You may voice those thoughts and future matters. You may have thoughts that would perhaps change the opinion of somebody, but in any event, it is up to the council to hire the village manager under the terms and conditions that they wish to do so. Under civility, I think there's been a great lack of respect. As mentioned, these council members were elected by the village. They demand and are entitled to be respected for the position that they hold. You earn it. Would you like to interrupt me again? Please do not. They were elected by the village for the position they hold, and they are entitled to the respect for that position. On occasions, they are, I believe, not respected. I don't believe it's respectful to accuse a council member of corruption. I don't think it's respectful to accuse a council member of ethics violations. There are methods that those matters can be raised, but they're not in this room.
That is totally disrespectful. And it really is something that needs to stop. Everyone in this room, everyone in the village has a right to express their opinion. And they may do so, whatever it is. I might not agree with it, I might agree with it. Members of council have their rights to opinions. But it should be done in a respectful manner. I thought of an example the other day. A gentleman, I think Mr. Ulrey, addressed the council because he was upset that the fire hydrant had not been installed. He had a right to be so. He had a right to bring that up, and he did so in a respectful manner. And he found out the answers to his questions, and he did so without being accusatory, without being obnoxious or in any way impinging the honor of this council. Why can't all things be similar to that? I have sat down with our manager on several occasions with residents and listened to their complaints and have worked them out. There's no reason to be disrespectful in this council chamber. When things happen that cause that disrespect, and it's not only what you say sometimes it's more effective of how you say it. How you say it in such a manner that the words themselves are not disrespectful, the manner of presentation of it is disrespectful. When that happens, how do you expect these people up here to react to that? They've been accused of being disrespectful to you folks, and maybe they have. I don't think so, but on occasion, maybe they've reacted. But when you are saddled with being disrespected, it's not unusual to get a reaction in the same fashion. I've actually heard and read a lot of things that have been said against this council, against members of this council, that are just simply not correct. I think a lot of people, it's like telling a joke. By the time they tell a joke at one end of the aisle and it gets to the other end, it's totally different. People tell stories and it keeps on being repeated, and the information is not accurate. It's not correct, and sometimes it's out and out lies. That doesn't do the village any good. It doesn't help council in any way. It doesn't help you either. We need to proceed in a manner that is beneficial. A lot of things that are brought up probably shouldn't even be brought up in these chambers. An example was used earlier. I think Linda, Mrs. Green, used it. A citizen approached her with a problem. She then brought the problem to the administrator, and they solved the problem. It has been said many times up here that these people are available. If there's a problem or information that you need, or something that needs to be addressed, if you approach it, it will be. Many times, the first time anybody up here hears about it is somebody complaining about a problem from the podium. You can't expect a cure immediately. You have to find out what the problem is first. I've addressed a couple of those problems myself, and they've been handled. It just is a matter of, again, civility. I'm going to tell you that I've worked for many of these councils here over the years. And this council is probably one of the better ones. You could go back and talk about what was done in the village, what was accomplished, and what has gone on. Hey, Mr. Farley, I'm gonna ask that you leave.
Absolutely, by all means.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it. I don't like the idea of somebody back there pantomiming a reaction. You know, some people ask questions to understand, to get answers. And then the problem is, the people that ask questions in order to do nothing but make a reply or an argument. If we could get back to the first, we would be much better off. So I guess I've had my say. I would really appreciate it if we could return to a period of civility. And somewhere where if you have a problem, let's mention it, let's solve it, let's get it done. But understand the perception of what goes on in the village and the perception of what has to be accomplished is different up here than it is out in the village. I've never talked to anybody that served on council that didn't learn. It's a different set of problems, it's a different set of rules, regulations, problems that you have to go through to make the village grow and become good. Thank you, I'm done. Thank you.
For business. Second reading of ordinance 2023-07. An ordinance certifying the municipality of Lebanon, distribution year 2024, and tax year 2023, streetwide assessment to Montgomery County, Ohio, in the amount of $60,000.
I have a couple old business items. It was brought up, Shannon brought up the last meeting, Sophia's brought up, the street at Yale and Brownwood. And Chris and I went out there, Chris and I went out there on the 4th at 2:30 and met with Shannon and Jerry Bemis. And we looked at the area. It's some water valve boxes that are in the street. One box has a cover that we've replaced. It keeps coming loose. Even Shannon stepped on it and it came up. So it may still come up again and again. That area is not gonna get paved or fixed until we repave either the rest of Brownwood or the Yale Street. So it would actually become a street project at some point down the road. I did provide pictures to council so they can see what exactly we're talking about, so that they're aware of, that we did go out there and look at it. Secondly, there was, I don't remember who brought it up, someone brought up the sign at the vape shop, the lighted, I'm gonna call it the Ohio State leaf sign. And the police chief and I actually did a business check, met with the store manager and mentioned that people in town, the public was concerned about that. And the manager had it removed by the end of the day. Again, I provided pictures to council with the sign and then the fact that it is removed at this point. And lastly, I wanted to apologize to Mr. Ullery. I misspoke at the council meeting about ordering hydrants. We had some hydrants in stock. There was a timing issue with the Gloucester Street project and any demand that we may have needed there. And at this point though, that hydrant has been replaced. And however, it is a little short and we've ordered a riser to move it up. The hydrant works and it, like I said, it is in place. We are waiting on the riser though, the riser's on the back. So I just want to apologize for that and let council know. That, and I think Mr. Farley brought it up, the 75%. All of council and the mayor are within the 75% attendance window. And they have a list of the dates they've actually not been in attendance. And that's all I have under old business.
Comments or questions? Paul Bob, 138 Glen Abbott Court.
say something different, but after I seen the council get sandblasted, not say anything. Mr. Keener kind of addressed exactly what I was gonna say. I want to thank you for that. Wanting the civility in the council meetings, both the community and the council. So I thank you.
Thank you. Jeff Holder, 311 East Main. Back 29 East Main Street.
I'm back at 29 East Main Street. I just wanted to address something. So I received a call from Ed at Dayton Daily News, where Mr. Sands, you accused me of saying that I was running for office to fire our municipal manager and our village workers. I was wondering at what time during any meeting have I said that I'm running for office to fire our municipal manager and our village workers?
We never actually said that,
That's what
but
was
let me
stated.
ask you a question.
This is my time. So you're saying that I didn't say that now, have you decided to call it Daily News? Which is fine. So I also want to address that somebody decided to also call Dayton Daily and dig into my background and ask about my 2022 school district taxes that I owed on. My former employer did not pay on those, so I got a letter eventually saying that they were paid and I'm up and current on all of my stuff, which your charter code, I believe, requires that we be up to date on that, correct?
If it passes.
Okay, okay. Weeks ago, this section brought up, flooding issues with Mr. Hickey on Gloucester Street having 2 years with no resolution. Glenn, you say you've been going out there, several times over the past years. And from what I understand, you, the mayor, and Ms. Locke showed up out there, correct?
I'm not sure where that came from information, I've never been there.
Okay. I was just double checking because I thought that, what was that, just questioning, not accusing. Because I would hope that, as Mr. Keener said, being legislative, which I'm great, I hope you guys do get out and see it, I just figured it would be more towards our maintenance department who would be out there to witness it. I stopped out and looked at it as well. Somebody was telling me something about an engineering issue, it looks like just a bunch of brush that's causing the stream to be backed up because of the brush, and there's a couple concrete slabs in there. So I just wanted to address that. Speaking of signs, I got told, I don't understand, I need to take them down. The code was made in 2019, but it didn't change, but you guys didn't charge the Republican Party for their signs that they put up this past August for their issue. Yeah, you guys never sent them a bill saying they had to pay for their signs that you refer to as temporary. So, and there's also been several signs around town that have been up for most of the year. And those people I reached out to, they have also not been ordered to pay a fee for permit. So at this point in time, I know that I paid, or several other people paid, Mr. Mayor, that you paid. I'm going to say at this point that, since you didn't send nothing out in August to the Republican Party, you guys are picking and choosing when to apply your sign codes. And due to that, I will not be removing my signs. And if any letters are sent to me, I will be sending them to my attorney for election interference. As you pick and choose who to send the permits out to. I talked with Margaret at the Republican Party and she confirmed that she never got a letter saying she owed for the permits last time, but this time they did. And there's also other places in town with signs that have been up, they haven't been charged. So if they're not being charged and told that they have to take them down within 30 days, I'm not gonna abide by that either. I think that seems fair. I want to address this. Last week, Mr. Roberts, he's a former mayor, as many of you know. He made an address to Ms. Venus about the way that her business was conducted, because she was before the promotion of the officers. And I think that as a former mayor, he should know that council decides the way that business is conducted, and the way you guys sat up there kind of let him go off on her and then point at the whole audience and say, oh, if she raised the 50 You know, and that's kind of insulting to the audience, and I think it's absolutely egregious and disrespectful that you allowed him to get away with that. But there was a time when Mr. Farley's had his outbreaks, and one moment you absolutely had him arrested for it. I didn't at least address him and, you know, conduct order. So I want to bring that up. And I also want to address that we are on a timer, and where we used to be able to say something and have you guys speak and have a pause, but that's not being addressed. Now that we're getting closer to an election, along with things getting done around town. Seems like now that we're getting closer to an election, but I do appreciate you guys. And real quick, before I step off, I don't want to come off that I'm attacking you guys, but when you guys sometimes reply back to people that I've seen your facial expressions at times, and that does come off rude. Your job as a political person is to be able to compose yourself. I'm sorry, I just want to say this, I'm giving you props to reflect. And the way you treat people as a politician, because that's what this is politics, goes a long way. You know that people are gonna be upset, and your job is to keep that composure. You know, that's how it is, you're serving us. So I want to thank you for your guys' serving, and I'll see you guys on the other side.
Tina Bell, 301 Gloucester Street.
How y'all doing tonight? Just a few things that I'd like to raise awareness to. One is, of course.
I think we should pause the meeting for a minute.
Okay. Good.
All right,
Okay.
Okay. Regarding our service department.
Hey Tina,
Yes.
you live with the microphone.
Not loud enough.
Well.
It's all right, right? Scott. My disapproval of him and his job, or lack thereof. I would like for his removal too. I'm not sure how we go about doing that. In the years, I have had issues with our sewage and everything before things were done on Gloucester. And not once will he return my call, especially not this year, not once. And all of this going on, I had lots of questions about what was gonna happen with our street and the flow of the water, the sewer, we have sewer in our driveway, not sewer, a meter in our driveway. All of that could have been addressed before all the construction went on. Nobody got a hold. Well, I do appreciate the speediness in which you did get back with me on that, but again, those were his responsibilities. And your failure to delegate that to him, make him do his job, makes me question you doing your job. And so I'm just very disappointed in Scott's lack of caring about his job. I too am, I'll move on to businesses. I too am disappointed in the business that are coming to town. I do not think a town this small needs the equivalent of 4 dollar stores at all. As for the smoke shop, I'm not opposed to the business itself, but when we have tried, talked about getting something for the children here for our youth. And then something like that comes into town, you can see how the citizens are just pretty much done with that. We need to have a way that we can have a voice on what businesses come around, or at least be notified as to what is. My suggestion to that is that we figure out some way to get a newsletter. I know we have a quarterly, but that is just not near enough to inform the people of what's going on. A lot of people don't use internet or Facebook or anything else, so that leaves out opportunity. So that's my suggestion. I don't know how we can do it. The advertiser was wonderful. I get it's an expense. We were spending money on things that we probably shouldn't already anyway. That informing the community would be a big help. I know there is talk about using the core building, maybe, I'm not sure, it's just hearsay or what, for something else, for a community center or whatever. What I'd like to know is how much it already costs to maintain a building like that before we put anything else in. If it's going to cost an enormous amount for something like that, then maybe, selling that building is the right opportunity and build something that's going to cost a lot less to maintain. And I just want to address, what Mr. Keener said, about civility, and I understand that. I don't come up here a lot, I have a big mouth, and I don't like to keep my peace very often at all. So I try not to be in a place where I have to do that. But I have sat by and I've watched the videos over and over again, and week after week, I see people, sitting up there with disdain in their faces. Not looking at whoever's talking, a lot of that goes on. And when we have sat up here, they've asked you guys for information for months and months and months. They've asked for information, and every time they come back, I hear them asking for the same information. So they're not getting that. And when we don't get information that you are supposed to supply to us, and we get the disdain, looks and things like that, you can understand why we are just, stability doesn't work at some point. Sometimes we just have had enough. So stability does come both sides, and that's much it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's it for 36 Market Street.
Okay, so I have several things to touch base on, so I'm just gonna run through everything. There are questions in here, I'm gonna run through everything first as I have a time limit, and then I suggest you all take notes, because I do expect answers to my questions. Before I get into what I originally had, in my notes for today, I would like to touch base on the full respect talk. You said that there is no reason to be disrespectful in here. However, why has it been acceptable for you all, Glenna, Carol, several of you, to be extremely rude and condescending to everyone who comes up here and speaks to you? Is it respectful for Carol to have the outburst that she had last meeting or the meeting before last that was completely unfounded? Is that respectful? Civility begins with you earning our respect. We put you in that position and then you do nothing to then earn our respect and then demand it. That's not how this works. Okay, that's all I had on that. So, like I said, take notes. Hensley, my husband was incorrect. It was not June 6th. It was May 16th. I was discussing with you your program coordinator, which I will need the name for because I, for whatever reason, did not write that down. As in 606.4 in the policies you sent me for your drone, protocols are supposed to be developed by your program coordinator. And the fact that those are not completed yet and you have had this drone now for almost a year is abhorrent. Has that drone been used for any actual police investigation like it was originally proposed for? Lena, why are we renegotiating your contract 3 months before your contract states that it is to be renegotiated? 30 days required is January 1st when your contract is up February 1st of 2024. Also, in your contract, it states that it is for a renewal period of 3 years. So why has your contract been extended 5 years? Let's see. The service department has never been present at any meeting I have attended. If he has been here one this year, then what about the other 3 meetings that he is required to attend per your charter? Also, per the contract negotiation, Keener, you adamantly stressed that it was for negotiation. However, there was no negotiation that occurred. Her contract was continued and signed continued that night at the meeting on October 3rd. So where's the negotiation? The last thing I have is on the review board.
I now have the roll call in my possession, which is public record for anyone to request. If anyone would like to see it, I will gladly share it with you. I was the only member that was present at every single one of the meetings, and it is incorrect in your roll call on Wednesday, May the 10th, that Chris Sands was present because he was not. It was Linda Lewis, Shannon Demus, myself, you, and Ronald. 3 of the members on the board out of the 12 never showed to a single meeting. 1 member only showed to 1 meeting, yet every single vote from all 12 of these members were counted, even though they did not participate in the board that they had an obligation to. So how that happened and how this got pushed through to the ballot, I'm really sure I do not understand. There were multiple avenues of conflict of interest. Chris Sands, I'm sorry to call you out, Nicole, but your husband, Glenna, your daughter, these were all conflicts of interest that were on the board. As my husband stated earlier, it was presented to Glenna and Ronald as a conflict of interest, and this was not reported to the ethics board. Votes should not have counted from any of those because those members were unaccountable and forfeited their obligation. So therefore, you did not have a full board, so the whole thing is null. All right, do I have anything else? All right. Why do we need a $90,000 parking garage? Why do we have $650,000 that we're talking about for this court building when we've known that it was gonna be empty for almost 5 years now? And there is no plan. Where is the plan? Why don't we have one? I think that's it. Now I'm ready for your answers.
Get back to us. Well, online. James, actually, I was never at any of them meetings, and I don't know what was going on in any of them meetings. But at that time, when that came, I guess somebody brought it
James
up.
did look like being
He said he was gonna excuse
He
himself.
did the proper thing and he
Okay,
excused
I
himself.
just wanted that up.
I just had to include it just to illustrate the conflict of interest that was happening because all of these applications went through the.
I just wanted that on record that he did do that then.
So
Well, let me clarify that. There were 12 people that said they were interested in being on the board. All I did, they emailed those to me and they all went to all council.
you should have scanned through for conflict of interest. That was your duty before submitting them to council, yes or no?
It's up to council who they appointed to that board.
And as our charter stands today, there was no conflict of interest. And you are correct, I did miss the 1 meeting and I corrected.
And
Glenn,
why did not correct on public record? Because on public record, it is incorrect.
I will go back and correct that.
You should. Because it's all, I mean, you already skate through so many things on these meeting minutes, like these things are so heavily redacted. It is ridiculous. I have gone through them trying to find things that people have said, and they're not, I can watch the video, watch them say it, hear them say it, and then it's nowhere in the notes. So your minutes are inaccurate at best. Thank you all. Nobody's gonna answer any of my questions, nobody. Curtis, anybody have anything to say? That was a whole lot of questions, not a single answer.
Thank you.
Well, you all see.
Chris, Landis, 97 Gallup Avenue.
And Chris Landis, 9:30. Didn't really plan on speaking, but put my name on the list, so I have opportunity to participate. It's experience, haven't been to every council meeting, and quite something, I really enjoyed the law director's comments on civility, because that's been going through my mind this past year. And as we hone in on the disdain of the council members' facial expressions, as I said in the back, I feel like there's a strong disdain both ways, just as a observer, right? No judgment, just observations. What was my relation to Lebanon? I've been here since the 80s. My great grandfather built my grandmother's house 70 years ago. So I have a little bit of stake here, my children, grew up riding bicycles in this town. And, thought about running for council. It seems to be a thankless job. I hate to have my head on a plate, that's what I feel like would happen. You guys are, it's so strong, vengeance, it seems like a vengeance. And the town is, it's a thing that's built for generations and generations. And it sounds like everything is going to hell in a handbasket, and it's that, where, and they're following laws, is it perfect? No. Can we make it better? Always. So where is the consensus of us to work together for an improvement, for a solution, without coming out with mob mentality? Echo the law director statements. I had no idea he was going to say that, but that hit me in the heart. I mean, it's just, we're all here, we're a village, it's not just bars and vape shops. How many churches do we have in this town? How many little league teams do we have in this town? How many times do everybody come together to support their children, for worship, for belief? It's so much more than trying to figure out how to democratic the little thing so we can give them a gotcha question. I mean, there's so much more in this town than that. So much more. And when they talk about the Dura patch, that was before. You guys might not know this. I was on council for 6 years, okay? And in that 6 years, none of this happened, okay? It was like, they lasted like 15-minute meetings, okay? And the Dura capture, I was on council with Glenda. And we tried to make, we put the street levy on the ballot 3 times when I was on council. And it got voted down 3 times. Now we're paying the cost of everybody, the citizens voting it down. Okay? We had a citizen here that rallied for the children to have things to do in this town, and she got ran out within 3 years. Okay? Everybody came after her. She had nothing but love in her heart to try to bring everybody together to create programs. And then the town got behind it and created a job for her to give that consistency for their programs. And then a lot of jealousy, envy, whatever these human sins and conditions are, lashed out after her, ran her out. And now I come to council meetings this past year a few times, and it's just nothing for the children. There's nothing, there was. It was all looking up, and now it's gone. We had options for street levies. The citizens said no. Now the streets are most, we're getting better, but we have issues, Gloucester Street. That's where my grandmother lived, 70 years. So improvements are happening. Are they slow? Yes. In the Dura patch years? Yeah. Things can be done. But how do we come together to create a solution? So you guys are running for council, people are, there's a battle. Are you guys gonna be able to work together? I haven't heard anybody talk about any solutions other than headhunting and just coming so strong to find something we. There are ways to approach. I mean, when I was on council, if I had something, I would take it to the city manager at the time. And I just asked him, well, hey, what do you know about this? And he looked into it, and would kind of follow up, I get some type of answer. I think Linda's doing that. From what I know, she's coming at, public records request, that's a tricky thing. What are records? Personal record, I understand that. I understand. All right. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
I do have a couple. Just an update, we currently have, we currently had 95 public access requests so far this year. Currently, I think I have 4 that are unfilled, and 3 of those just came in yesterday. So we're up to date on public access requests. Following in the village is Saturday from 2 to 6. So I'm hoping to see every kid in the village there dressed in costume and ready to go for the costume contest. Trick or treat is October 31st from 6 to 8. It is rain or shine. So hopefully it'll be fine. Hopefully. I want to thank Joe Hetzel with our fire department. I was at the last home football game. And yeah, he was at the front of the ambulance as the mother came running around. And he grabbed the baby, took care of the baby quickly while I kind of separated them. So he did a great job, and I just want to thank him for his quick reaction and helping that mom and the baby. So, and the other thing is we have cold patched Bryce, Drina, and Gregory Shore, Traction, Hazelhurst, Bimbo, Holderman, Northfold, Saladin, and Hebner. There's approximately 2.5 tons of patch that were used just in those areas. And that's all. And a request for an executive session, that's all I have.
By the end of this meeting, because fire plug was answered about the Yale front, Shannon Beavis was talked to from Glenna. What do you call it? The courthouse, I forgot to tell her about, that's in architecture's hands, and nothing can be done until it gets out of architecture's hands by the council. So that was brought up the last meeting, so I want to make sure that was addressed, so somebody knows that it's in the architecture's hands, and we can't do nothing until we see what they propose. And 75% that was brought up by a lady, and when I looked all those up, and that's been addressed. And easement was taken care of by Ron, and that's all I've got to say until the next meeting. And I'll get some other stuff, which I call it old business. Thank you. Oh, I didn't go with that. I need to apologize because I had to use the restroom, but I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. I took a CAT scan, so I'm trying to get rid of that stuff they put in me. Thank you.
Councilmember Joy,
Yes.
Councilmember McMahon,
Yes.
Councilmember Perkins,
Yes.
Mayor Ariola,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Locke,
Yes.
Councilmember Sands,
Yes.
Councilmember Atkins.
Yes.
Count 7 yes, 0 no, motion carries.
Thank you for.
Yes, I'd like to address Mr. Beck.
I was just gonna say,
You're an honorable man, are you not?
excuse me,
So-
say something.
What?
Just like, I was not
Oh,
talking.
I thought you did.
I have nothing, but I was just gonna say thank you for everybody that came out. And I appreciate you guys taking the time. Now you go.
Thank you. My original question. So can you tell us what a meeting was about between you, Mr. Nicholson, and Ms. Sexton and Ms. Atkins on or about October 3rd?
Chris, you called it not to.
Yeah, I want to know what the meeting was about.
What meeting?
What meeting?
So you're gonna deny there was a meeting,
What meeting?
and then that very day, Ms. Atkins was the one who made a motion not to renew her contract.
If I remember correctly from the meeting minutes, Ms. Atkins said that she got her paperwork late.
Yes.
And wanted to set it aside.
Excuse me, can I speak now?
No.
No, you're accusing me. So, I didn't have the Bible.
Whatever.
Okay, and I asked to see both contracts because I'm new to city council. I don't know what meeting they're talking about. I work 12 hours a day. I don't have time for a
It
meeting.
is, whatever. it is.
So thank you for accusing me of something I have not done,
Understanding.
but I want to make sure that you
You
don't.
do this all the time. What? I'm not allowed to have my opinion? Well.
He told him, leave, don't ever talk about my wife like that. He told that man, leave, don't ever walk out now, let's talk about my wife like that. Point blank, that's what he.
12-hour shifts.
Whatever. It is what it is. I have nothing else.
It is.
I mean, can I at least have the decency to, let's just drop all this. So,
No, let's keep it going.
I just would like to address it, is that okay? I mean,
I think you should address it,
I would
because my
like to
name was
address
brought in something I did not do.
Please, as somebody who's running, I would like to address the statement that's been made about it. Okay, first off, if anybody goes back and watches it or listens to the meeting minutes, everybody else voted on it. She said she didn't get her paperwork in time.
I didn't get mine till Saturday either.
I didn't get mine until Monday.
So, and she's supposed to be given, I believe by law, 48 hours to review, if I'm correct. So there is no meeting, that's a false accusation, just like you called Daily News.
I didn't
You
call.
called, I have Ed Riker, it said today on a phone call, that you accused me of saying that I was running for council, let me finish, eventually, there's a fire in our village workers. And that's a poor quality trait for somebody that sat on council and bragged about it today daily for 20 years. You know why you've been on here for 20 years? Honestly, with all due respect, because no one's opposed you to that.
But I
Have a great
also.
evening, and I'm sorry for this, but I'm gonna stand up for my name.
I'm not saying.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
I'm not-
You're a joke. You're a joke. I'll see you
On
on
July 18th. Told you. Are you leaving?
I am leaving because you disrespected.
Okay, well.
We have to respect.
You're not gonna hear this, then, are you?
I don't need to hear anything you said. Everybody here has heard everything.
And you just led us on July 18th.
I think you need to call it place, give it place under hold.
No. Several months ago, there was a family that came forward to open a smoke shop over on Church Street. There was a variance put forward because that location was in a residential area. It was noted at that point in time, by many members of the community that it's not that they were against having a smoke shop, they did not want to have one in a residential area. Now we have one that moved into a commercial area and everybody wants to complain about it. As far as the stores that's coming in, the Dollar General and Family Dollar. Those business owners came to us and wanted to open a business. They went through the planning committee, they went through the zoning committee, and they were approved. If there's people out here that would like to open a business, I don't think that there's anybody up here on this council right now that would oppose them to open a business. I would love to see businesses come to town. I would love to see more homeowners lose some of the rental business or rental homes here and actually have people that have take ownership in that home and to come to town. As far as my integrity being impugned tonight, my ethics was called into question, and I'm not sure what to say about that exactly, but as of today, I'm resigning. I'm not gonna be held, I'm not gonna take my integrity to be held in check like that, and so this will be my life from now. Thank you.
I'm just gonna say I have nothing but. I feel what you're saying now. But you are a valuable person on this council. You have a lot to offer this council. Nobody. You can take what they say, listen, but you know in your heart who you are. I would hate to see you leave the council based on what he said and supposedly another one that came in said. I do appreciate everybody coming. It is a lot of times our heads down are taking notes. I take a lot of notes. We are not ignoring you. We do appreciate you coming. That's all I have tonight. Thank you, Gail.
You know, I agree with Tammy, that you're very valuable to us. And I want you to go. So, I'll have to say, so I have a motion. Request for an executive session. Next vote, 1.1.5 1, 2, 3, 5. Discuss personnel matters and legal matters.
So moved.
Second.
Everyone.
Yes.
Councilmember Perkins.
Yes.
Councilmember Atkins.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lofton.
Yes.
Councilmember Sands.
Yeah.
Councilmember McMahon.
Yes.
Councilmember Joy.
Yes.
Count 7 yes, 0 no, motion carries.
So. Yes.
Second.
Councilmember Atkins.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lofton.
Yes.
Councilmember Sands.
Yeah.
Councilmember Joy.
Yes.
Mayor Ariola.
Yes.
Councilmember McMahon.
Yes.
Councilmember Perkins.
Yeah.
Count 7 yes, 0 no, motion carries.
You have any things? Oh, second. Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Second.
Mayor Ariola. Councilmember Perkins.
Yeah.
Councilmember Atkins.
Yes.
Councilmember Joy.
Yes.
Councilmember Sands.
Yeah.
Councilmember McMahon.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Barr.
Yes.
Count 7 yes, 0 no, motion carries.
Meeting adjourned.
We have a newspaper now.